These charts, they're not going to make you money. In the 33 years that I've been trading, the one thing that I've learned is that charts can't predict the future, you can't predict the future, and you cannot time the market. But I am going to show you a system today that you can use on the charts, a system that you can use to implement your strategy with and to manage your risk and to use to give you that advantage in the market. Because if you just choose a trade with nothing on the charts, then clearly you're going to have this problem of, I don't know whether it's going up, I don't know whether it's going down. You're not going to feel any comfort whatsoever with your trading. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rob, and for those of you who do know me, I'm still Rob. And guess what? It's Coffee with Rob, and we're going to have a look at what kind of system you can use today. With the moving average, we're going to look at the moving average today. Can you believe it? I don't use indicators on my chart. I use price action to do my trading on the charts, but I am doing a series showing people how to trade certain systems on the charts so that you can also understand how these systems work. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the best way to trade with the moving average. We've done the RSI, we've done Fibonacci and a couple of others. But today, we're just going to talk about the moving average and how you can trade it and the best way to trade it. Let's go to the charts and let's go and have a look. So here we are on the charts, and we're looking at the best way to trade the moving average. And it's quite simple, really. Let's remove all of these drawings, get them out the way, and then you've got a chart like this. Now, if you came to this chart and you looked at this chart and you said, oh, I'm going to take a trade, you'd say, I'll probably buy it and go long because there's a whole bunch of green candles there and they look pretty cool. And that would be my trade, and I'd go long, and that would be that. But why would I go long? What would make me go long? Now, on price action, as you saw, I had a whole bunch of lines there, and I had a whole bunch of resistance and support and trends and what have you. But we're not going to do that today. Today, we're just going to show you the moving average. So what you do is you look for an indicator called the moving average. Now, a lot of people use the exponential moving average because it smooths it out better, but we'll just use the moving average today and make it easy. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use two moving averages, real simple. And those two moving averages will be as follows. Oh no, this is not what I'm looking for. Always so difficult just to get settings on something, isn't it? Right, there we go, inputs. So what I'm going to turn one of them into a 20-day moving average. And the other one I'm going to leave as a 9-day moving average. So now here's a 20-day moving average. We can make it an exponential moving average. Why not? Let's make them exponential moving average that smooths it out. Then we've got the style. So let's change this one's color to an orange, and we'll make it a little bit thicker so we can see it. And that's your 20-day moving average. Visibility will be on everything. Inputs, 20-day, close, EMA, smooth length. Okay, boom, boom. Let's do that, right? There you've got your 20-day moving average. Let's put the other one in as a 9, make it a little bit more visible. That's a 9-day moving average. I'm going to make its style a little bit better. I'm going to make it purple, and I'm also going to give it a thicker line. There we go. We've got a 9-day moving average. So the purple one is now your 9-day moving average. Your orange one is now a 20-day moving average. Now, if this was a 200-day moving average and a 50-day moving average, this would be referred to as the death cross, and the crossing to the upside would be known as the golden cross. In other words, every time it goes up, you buy, and every time it comes down, you sell. That being on an investment account, I use the 50-day and the 200-day moving average on a daily, weekly chart. But this is for trading. This is for quick trading. Now, what you have to understand about a moving average, whether it's exponential, whether it's simple, doesn't really matter. What you have to understand about it is it's a lagging indicator. In other words, by the time you take the trade has already happened in price action as we trade it. But you can use this. And the basis of this is if the 9-day moving average, some people use the 8, by the way, but I like the 9. If the 9-day moving average crosses over the 20-day moving average and goes to the upside, so a mini golden cross, then you buy. And when it comes back and it crosses back through that 20-day moving average and it goes down to the bottom, then you sell. Now, if you're getting into the market, that would be a short trade. And if you are getting out of the market, that would be time to sell your trade as such. And that's as simple as this simple system gets. Now, what I would normally do when I take this trade is I would wait to see a little green candle on the other side. And I would look to get into the trade when I see a green candle with that passing through the other side, closing, and get into the trade based on the moving average crossing to the upside. Yeah, so I'm going to do another example of this. Let's have a look at maybe a euro. How's the euro New Zealand dollar? Well, that looks pretty good. Look at that. See, euro, New Zealand dollar. Had you wanted to go short at this point, you would have got this beautiful 9-day crossing through the 20-day moving average, going straight through there and giving you the red candle down, and you would have gone short, and you would have picked up that entire move all the way down to the bottom there. Then it moves back up. The moving average crosses back through the 20-day moving average, and you would have picked up that entire move all the way to the top. In fact, you would still be in the trade. This doesn't work every time. This is not a perfect system. This looks great because I'm showing you this, and I'm showing you this in hindsight as to what's happened. But frequently, it does fail. Frequently, you do get failures based on the system, but the system is very good, particularly for products that move in such vast movements. You'll get a decent move out of it. You'll get a decent pick out of the trade, and it'll be a pretty good trade for you when you're trading. So if you're looking for something decent to trade with, this is not a bad way to trade. It's actually a really good way to trade. Just remember, it is lagging. By the time you've got in, you could have got in much earlier. And when you get out, you could have got out much earlier as well on price action. Now, if you want to, you can use this in conjunction with our price action trading, but then you're going to have too many things on your chart and too much going on again, and you're probably going to start confusing yourself. So if you just wanted to use this, you could perhaps throw an RSI in, for example, onto this type of trading. So if you were trading with indicators, if you're an indicator type of person, if you're a person who likes to trade with indicators, you could throw the RSI in. Look at my RSI video from previous, and you can see how this works, where it's overbought, and you can have a look at it and see if it's starting to falter. You can get a good picture of where you are on the trade. So keep that in mind. You could also do that. But let's talk strategy. Let's talk about how you can manage these trades in the market. Let's go away from the charts. Come with me, guys. Let's go and talk about strategy, and then we'll see how you can actually use the strategy with these trades. Now, as you guys all know, I always talk to you about strategy. It's so important to understand the strategy of trading, because trading is not just about charts. Charts don't predict the future. Charts can't predict anything, and neither can you. I always tell you that trading is 50-50. Did you know that 70% of traders actually lose money trading? In fact, on day trading, 99% of traders lose money. This is something that people have to get their head around. And I know you thinking, I'm going to be part of that 30%. I'm going to be part of those guys that always win at the trading. Once you've decided on a system, you're going to think that system's going to give me a win rate, and then I'm just going to win more trades, and I'm just going to keep on winning. I'm going to put loads of dosh in the bank. That's not how it works, though. At the end of the day, trading's 50-50. Win rates don't make you money. See, a win rate can't make you money because you'll win a whole bunch of trades, and then you'll think, ooh, I've got a win rate. I'm winning. I'm winning all these trades. And then you're going to come to that one trade that's going to make a big loss, and it's going to wipe out all those wins. And it's going to be so demoralizing to you and so shocking to you. This has happened to me so many times in my trading career. So what I do is I manage my risk. In other words, I have a business plan before I trade. I don't just get into trading and how much capital have I got? Oh, I don't know. Just throw things at it and just guess. And no, you've got to have some kind of plan, some kind of strategy. And the strategy is simple. You can use my strategy if you want to. And that is this: no matter what the size of the account, if the size of the account is $25,000, then keep the size of the account $25,000. Don't let it change. Don't change it at every 5 seconds and try and change your plan. Keep your plan to that, even if the account grows. And if the account grows, do yourself a favor, take the profit out. But the initial size of your account is the plan that you're working with, until you consciously change your plan and decide, you know what, I don't want to work with 25,000 anymore. Let me work with 40,000 or whatever the case. But then you change the plan completely, because the plan is to keep your losses, your stop losses, your stop amount, your losing amounts the same on every single trade. No matter what percentage you choose loss, you need to keep that loss the same on every single trade. And this is the important part of the strategy. Now, I risk 1% of an account, which would be $250 on a $25,000 account. You might want to risk 5%. You might want to risk 10%. You might want to risk 2%. You might want to risk 0.5%. You've got to find that happy balance within yourself as to how much you want to risk. But bear in mind, if you risk 10% of your account, then there's a good possibility that if you lose 10 trades, you're going to lose the whole account, whereas I'll only lose 10% of my account because I'm risking 1% per trade. That's kind of where I'm going with this at the end of the day. But then if you have bigger accounts, it works well. On smaller accounts, you might think, but I need to make more money. You may need to look at that And this is where I come in with, if you get into trading with a business plan and a strategy, you have to understand that you need some kind of plan. You need a business plan. You can't just jump into the market with no proper plan. You need a proper plan when you're trading. That plan must be, how much capital do I need to start with? Do I need capital? How much money do I need to make per year? How much money do I need to make per month? Am I going to calculate it on a monthly basis, or am I going to calculate it on an annual basis? How much money I make. It's so important to understand where you're going before you start. Don't just jump in because some guy gave you a course and said, hey, Rob, start trading, dude. That was exciting. I started trading, and then I didn't know where I was going. And I'm thinking, I'm just buying this and selling that and buying this and selling that. And somewhere down the line, I should be making money. No, you can't do that. The basis of this whole thing is, when you take a trade and you look at a trade, the most important thing for you to do is to understand that when you get into the trade, the first thing you've got to do is I look at a trade and say, which way am I going to go on this trade? Am I going to go up? Am I going to go down? The first thing I've got to do is choose my area of invalidation, my stop loss. And that's not tight stop loss, fast stop loss, and all this rubbish. You need to choose an area where if the price was to get to the area, you would say, ooh, I don't want to be in that trade. That trade's rubbish. That's your area of stop loss. It's an invalidation. Now you've chosen the area of stop loss, and now you choose the size of the trade. Why do I say choose the size of the trade after you've chosen the stop loss? Simple, really, because you need to work out the size of your trade according to your stop loss. Your stop loss is $250. You can't choose the size of the trade and then put the stop loss in, which is right up against where you're buying the trade. No, you can't do that. You need to put the stop loss in an area where you know the trade's invalid. So the size of your trade depends on the size of your stop loss. So you pick your stop loss, you pick your invalidation, you work out how many lots, pairs, pips, whatever it might be you're trading, work out how much you can buy back to the cost of that trade. How many can I buy? How far can I go with this? How does this work? Now you've got the size of your trade. Now you can look at the trade and say, if I was to take this trade, if this trade was for me, and this trade was the one I was going to click on right now at this size, will I make a bigger profit than what I'm risking? In other words, can I make more than $250? Because I'm risking $250. Surely I want to make more than that if I'm taking the trade. Now you look at it and say, yes, I'm making more than $250. Guys, I don't say it has to be 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 5 to 1, whatever the case. I just say it has to be more than the $250 that you're risking. The $250 that you're risking does not have to be exactly $250. It can be $230, it can be $270, just in that region. And the win just needs to be more than that. It can be $300, $350, $400, $500. It's great because that's 2 to 1, isn't it? The more the merrier. But just remember, when you're trading this way, it's not like scalping, where you get into a profit and you go, click, I want that, I'll take that profit, $50 in the pocket, off you go. This is far more difficult, and that's why it's 50-50. It's difficult to reach those targets. Those targets don't come easy. Most of my profit is made on 1 or 2 trades in the year. 1 or 2 trades which just go to the moon and they just make you so much money. Those trades you put in the packet and you go, wow, that was good, that goes in. Remember, I calculate annually. And then there's a whole bunch of trades which reach target, which are great. Those are good targets because those targets are normally more than my losses. So those go into the kitty. Those are great. But most of the trades are made up of a whole bunch of small losses and a whole bunch of small wins. Why do I have small wins? Because I take my profit by following the stop loss up. I never click out on a profit if I can. I would rather put my stop loss up behind my profit and let it come back and take it out. That way I feel better about it because I tried to make more money. I didn't just click out of the trade, whichever way it goes. Sometimes it comes back, takes out your profit and goes north anyway, but I don't feel as bad about that because at least I tried. If you just click out of the trade and it goes north, you're going to think, I could have made so much more money on that trade. Insane. Why did I click out of that trade? That's what you've got to think about. So when you're taking your profits, when it goes into profit, move your stop loss right up behind it in a profit, and then it keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. If it comes back and takes it out, then it takes it out. Now that's where a whole bunch of my small wins come from, is because sometimes if it goes $100 into profit, if I'm targeting 400, it'll come back, take out my $100. I've made $100 instead of the 400. So that's considered a small win, and it goes into the kitty with the small losses. You've got to keep the losses as small as possible. The trick here is, guys, to try and get out of the losses as quickly as possible and stay in the winners as long as possible. Make as much as possible on the winners and lose as little as possible on the losers. It's pretty much where it is. Guys, if you haven't joined the members area yet and you want to trade of the day and that sort of thing, come down, join the members area. I've got a members club there. It's just, there's a button below the video for YouTube. Just get in there, you get a trade of the day every day and that sort of thing. And if you've watched the video this far, do me a favor and actually subscribe. Come on, guys, subscribe. We're pushing for that 100,000 subscribers one day. We're far away. We're what, 19 or 20,000 now. Look, but we're targeting 100,000 subs. It'll be good. It'll be fun. On that note, thanks for watching. Don't forget to watch the last video, which is really, really, really important. And I'll catch you at the live shows every Tuesday and Thursday. Thanks for watching. Cheers, ciao, and bye.